Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zymax, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be at about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seatbelt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
Well, I guess we're here. I guess we're live.
I believe we are.
You never know until the very last minute. Like the last 15 minutes, I've been trying to get my computer to cooperate. And what was it saying?
That there's an unexpected error or
Something went
something.
wrong during streaming countdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell does that mean? Other than this shit ain't working. Never fails. Never fails.
YouTube.
And something just fell in the trash. Don't know what that was.
Oh wow, it is on my YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
Wait, it shows live. I can't click it, but it's like it says 3 minutes ago. It's under
Huh.
live 6/11/25.
Cool. I got stuff falling off my desk, stuff not working.
I haven't streamed on my account. Guess how many
Good
years?
Lord, how long?
Guess.
3? 4
4.
years? Really?
It was a PUBG game.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Do not adjust your TV set. We are in control now.
Wow.
Welcome to the outer limits. Yeah, I don't know if we're in control of Jack, but hey, at least we're here. A few minutes late, but those gizmo gods. Just I don't know, man. I've just become to accept it.
Mm,
That it is what it is.
yeah, I just expect if it goes, if it works, I don't even want to question it. It's like, well, that's a
Yep.
fluke.
Oh, what's up, Heather? Barry, Nate, Azuriana. What's up with that? I don't have a clue. I'm totally clueless. My computer makes no sense. Works fine, like works flawlessly all week. It gets to Wednesday. I set the show up. Everything works perfect. Like 20, 30 minutes before the show, I'll just come in here and sit down. And it's like I've came and sat down and like electronic pygmies have had a drunken shit fest with my computer. I don't.
And we'll get things done early. We'll think we're like ahead of the game. We're like, woohoo, looking good. We just have to go sign on and go.
Yeah, no. Exactly. Better late than never. Exactly. That's the motto. That's my life's motto.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
At least we made it.
There we go. Yeah, I was using the free version of Restream and, had a few problems. Then I bought Restream and problems seem to increase. You'd think it would be the other way around, but I don't know.
Except it did. I don't know how it started to halfway look like it was setting some stuff up for YouTube last week, but then it stopped, but it looked like it wanted to do something, and then just now it was oh, now it's set up. I just have to hit this toggle button. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
working.
there you go. Don't question it.
Yeah,
Just go with the flow. Don't ask questions. So how's everybody been doing this week? Me, I'm tired as hell right now.
I've got some astrology stuff to go over tonight. It might clear some things up for people.
Cool.
With all the craziness and the roller coasters.
Yeah. I think the world's in a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
Did you send me something else? Yeah, okay, I got it. I answered my own question. Did you send me something? Yeah, you did. I got it.
Yeah. I just have 2 more YouTube links to attach. And then I have to go do the Rumble ones.
Let's get ready to rumble.
What?
I don't know if anybody even watches it on Rumble, but it's on there. I don't even know how to work Rumble, but it's on there.
I hear Love and his little gurgles.
I'm getting these pictures. Oh, something went wrong during streaming connection. Retry. Give feedback. Really? You want my honest opinion?
Oh, do you really want that? Oh, I didn't
Sure
see you ask if I heard the audio. I did hear the audio.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw the moon last night. It wasn't strawberry. It was just looked like a big yellow moon, but it was huge when it came up.
Again, it's not supposed to be pink. It's supposed to be orange because it hangs low on the horizon. The name Strawberry Moon comes because that's the time they're ripest for harvesting.
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty awesome looking.
It's huge.
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 Yeah, it was huge.
I was going to say it. Huge.
It was huge.
That's what she said.
Let's see. What does this say here? Right. Reset, refocus as many times as you want to. That's what my one little piece of dark chocolate that I have says.
Oh, that's your advice?
Yeah.
So say it again
I just crumpled it up. It was like reset,
and refocus as many times.
refocus as many times.
I like that.
Yeah, like, okay, I'll do that 24 times tonight.
24 times. Like in general, with your life or with your computer. Why isn't letting me comment on? Oh, because I'm not signed in again. You know, wank, wank. I'm not going to sign in to Rumble. Hi, people. Hi, everybody on Rumble, if anybody's there. Hey, weirdos. That's what I was going to type.
Rumble. I don't even know if it shows. I mean, I know it shows it's live on Rumble, but I don't know if it like prompts anybody to watch it live on Rumble, or if it just.
I think I'm the only follower,
Yeah.
but we've only been advertising it like, what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah. Raining clouds. Yeah, man, it's been raining here. Like, it's Florida. Like, it'll rain like pouring Pete out of a boot for like 10 minutes straight, and then it'll stop, and the sun will be out, and it'll be beautiful. There's a big rainbow, and then 30 minutes later, it's back to biblical rains and dark as a dungeon, and then usually clears up again. Nice sunset. Makes no sense. That's Florida for you. So it'll rain off and on just enough to, like, when the sun comes back out, makes it nice and steamy and humid. Great for crotch pot cooking. Mm.
Oh, you got some moon pictures? I want to see some moon pictures.
I'll send you some moon pictures.
I bet you will. Well, it's pretty chilly here.
Anybody else been getting the DMV scam?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've got them all day today.
Huh. And then you look at like the sent address and it's like,
Yeah. bgjerry@hotmail.com. Yeah. Yeah, I've got the first ones that came in were like, you have an unpaid traffic ticket that if you don't pay it by such and such a date, your license is going to be suspended. Our data crosses several states, so you'll be suspended in those states too, and you'll be held liable for paying any court costs and late fees and this and that, just adding all kinds of other shit on there. And the first one was like, your ticket occurred in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I'm like, yeah, that was me. Okay. But then I started getting them, for Florida. And the one,
I keep getting them for like the fast track and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I don't even have fast track. Well, speaking of the moon, we haven't really been doing much on here lately. Things have just been kind of slow and steady, a little bit of bumps in the road. But right now, we happen to have a lot of transits and a lot of like different energy kind of working together right now. And so it's kind of a big important time because some of these things are going to be like this for like the next like so many years and everything. I have it all like on my Instagram page to it. So I'm just going to give a little bit of information on what's going on, and then you guys can look more into it to see like what resonates. No, just the thumbnail.
Just
Like
the thumbnail.
these are the ones I'm reading off of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then our little pictures went away again. It's the one where it has like this.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
I think this is the right one.
I know I did it the way last second. I was like eating a
That's right.
sandwich. Yeah, and then our pictures, our videos. Anytime you share screen, our videos disappear.
Well, are they not coming back? Here we go.
It's like one of those weird little things. So tonight we have Strawberry Moon. And I'm reading off of Alex Miles because she's got some really, really good stuff. But it's in Sagittarius. It's bringing a major turning point with energy full of possibility, opportunity, and fast-moving change. Sagittarius is a fire sign that looks ahead, reaches higher, and always has faith that there is something better waiting. Ruled by Jupiter, this full moon carries themes of luck, good fortune, personal expansion, and unexpected breakthroughs that lead to real and lasting results. This is the kind of energy that can change things overnight. If something in your life has felt stuck, slow, or unclear, this moon helps lift that weight and replace it with new possibilities and momentum. You may suddenly feel more certain, more excited, and ready and willing to take action. That one message, offer, or idea could land exactly when you need it. The right opportunity may show up out of nowhere, and what once felt out of reach may now feel like it's finally within grasp. This is a moment to choose what makes you happy, to say yes, to change, and trust that something more aligned is on the way. Apply for that course, accept that invitation, make the decision, arrange the meeting, send the text, book the trip, and start over where it matters most. This full moon says the future is opening up and you are ready to move with it. This is your green light, and the universe is backing you all the way. And then we've got Mercury and Jupiter entering Cancer. A powerful new chapter is starting. So all these are going to see how they kind of like flow together. A powerful new chapter is starting, and it's bringing the shift you've been waiting for. From June 8 to June 26, Mercury moves through Cancer, helping you speak with more heart, clarity, and confidence. It's the perfect time to open up, reach out to someone important, or say what you've been holding in. Even a short message or honest conversation can lead to healing, closure, or a fresh start. Your words matter now, and they can move things forward in the best way. On June 9, Jupiter also enters Cancer and stays until June 30th of next year. This kicks off a full year of growth, emotional abundance, and major wins in love, home, finances, and personal goals. So manifest, manifest, manifest. Everyone benefits from this energy, but if your sun, moon, rising, or Jupiter is in Cancer, get ready to feel it in a big way. This is your time to shine, grow, and create the life you've been dreaming about. Your energy is magnetic, and the dreams you've held close may finally come to life. Unexpected shifts could bring something even better than you imagined possible. This is your time to say yes to what feels right, trust yourself, and stay open to what's ahead. And again, one real conversation, a brave decision, or one small step forward could change everything. You're entering a season of receiving true love and support that lasts and blessings that keep showing up. We've also got Mercury conjoining Jupiter on it started June 8th, which is a portal for good news and good luck. Get ready because the universe is setting things in motion that will bring incredible blessings your way. This chapter is all about clear communication, uplifting news, and unexpected good luck and fortune finding its way to you. The message you've been waiting on, the opportunity you hope to come through, the shift that suddenly changes everything for the better. These things are all forming behind the scenes. You may not see it yet, but the alignment is real and it's happening. The universe works quietly, often in ways you don't expect, but always with divine purpose. Every twist, every delay, every confusing moment was guiding you to this exact point. Life brings turns that test your patience and challenge your strength, and still you've remained steady through it all. That strength is why you're now in position to receive something bigger, better, and more aligned than you imagined possible. Very soon, everything will make sense. The clarity, luck, good fortune, good news, it's all coming straight to you. Um, Venus and Taurus from June 6th to July 4th. Strong waves of Venus energy are transforming your whole life. Venus, the planet of love, money, and beauty, stays in Taurus till July 4th. This brings strong waves of Venus energy transforming your whole life. Before June ends, you'll understand what is meant for you always comes to you. Nothing can ever stand in the way of your destiny. Success and money is coming easily. Your bank account is growing significantly. You're looking better than ever. Things are falling into place for all signs, especially Taurus, Scorpio, Libra, Leo, and Aquarius. They're expecting big shifts because they've grown into the version of themselves ready to receive the blessings. Um, and then the last one, Mercury sextile Venus. So you see, like, the whole universe right now is like wanting you to win, you know? Lately, the energy has kept sending the same message. It's time to say what's on your heart and mind. And that communication is a really big one. Like, whether you think it's going to make a difference or not, just say it. Mercury sextile Venus makes it easier to do exactly that, to speak from the heart and forward. You may want to tell someone how much you care, how good it feels when they show up, or how much you value the little things they do. You might want to say you miss their energy or that you feel closer when you talk openly like you used to. I love being around you, or it'd be good to spend more time together without second guessing yourself or worrying how it will be received. This is the moment to bring more warmth, honesty, and love into all of your close relationships. And this is the V. You don't need perfect worlds, you just need real ones. You can be clear, soft, and open all at once. This energy helps you connect in a way that feels natural, kind, and mutual. So be brave. Reach out to someone, say what you feel and what they mean to you. Let it be the start of something deeper that brings you closer together. And expect that if you see 11, 11, 12, 12, 3, 3, or 444 signals love, alignment, reconnections, open communication, and divine support. So that's a lot of different stuff, but it's all giving the same message. Don't be afraid to take chances right now. And if you get an opportunity, don't second guess it, just go for it.
There you go.
We are set up right now to win. And even if you think, yeah, bullshit, just believe it. You got to believe it. Have faith.
I like winning.
They gonna get sick of winning. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, little ground shifts.
Keep talking about big ground shifts over here. I was just
Oh.
browsing YouTube earlier and saw the thing that said seabed collapses off Florida.
What?
What this?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Haven't haven't looked it up.
Heart thing. Let's see.
Yeah,
So there was like an earthquake somewhere else too. It wasn't like huge, but they were keeping an eye on it.
marine scientists are terrified after Florida's ocean floor just started
Yeah,
collapsing in places.
yeah. A lot of people are on YouTube, Craig. What did you say?
Yeah, here on TikTok it says the ocean floor has dropped 30 stories off the coast of Florida.
30 stories?
That's a long damn way.
And that's what they want to do to California.
Yeah.
They'll drop us in the ocean too. Parts of us.
Florida's not sinking. The ocean is just reclaiming it. Yeah. Sea, sea levels could rise up to 7 feet. Yeah. Control fear. We're all gonna die.
Dude.
Doom despair.
Has anybody been having an increase in possible like apparitions or spiritual activity or shadows, like shadow activity all around, like in the last?
You were asking me that,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I just haven't. I don't know if I just been tuning everything out. I've been kind of in a weird state the last few weeks, recovering from all this, and I don't know. I haven't really noticed anything like that a whole lot, but like Sam texted me several times today, and she was doing some ghost box sessions, and she's wrote down like everything that was coming out of the box, and she was sending it to me. I was like, well, that's cool, to write down everything because I haven't done that a lot. I just hear it and kind of go off memory. But yeah, she was writing everything down, and she was like, "It's crazy. It's like I've been having these vivid dreams and
The dreams. I
and
was
all
gonna bring that up.
all this stuff coming out of the ghost box. It seems like it's way amped up." And
Uh-huh.
she's like, "How is it for you?" And I'm like, "Meh, haven't done any, so I don't know."
But you had that experience in the hospital, right? Where you saw
Yeah,
some that was pretty
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. Like when I was being sometime during my operation, I had what I think, I don't know, maybe I was just high on drugs, but it felt like I was like above myself looking down, but I was attached to myself by the best thing I can describe it as like an umbilical cord, and it like sucked me back into my body. I don't know, it sounds kind of crazy, but yeah. But yeah, at one point I felt like I was just like looking down at myself with all these people around working on me. And I wonder if it wasn't the hour and a half or whatever that I was on bypass where my heart wasn't actually beating, where they were working on it. And it was just a machine keeping the rest of me alive. So it'd be interesting to know if it was, I don't know how I'd ever know, but that's what I wonder, if it was during that time where my physical heart was not beating. I don't know. Weird. It's amazing what they can do to a human body. It's amazing to me that, for an hour and a half my heart wasn't beating, But yet here I am, still just yammering on about it. It's pretty awesome, I guess.
Well, yeah, because our Rob is still here.
Yeah. But yeah, everything else for me hasn't, I haven't noticed a whole lot lately. And I think that's just me being a little detuned, or I don't know, maybe I changed after having heart surgery. I don't know. Things don't feel the same though, if that makes any sense. Not that I'm not as sensitive as I was. In ways, I think I'm more, but I don't know. It's weird. It's different. Don't know how to explain it.
Like having an NDE.
Yeah.
Deborah, you're talking about things breaking all at once. And I think Rob's having the same thing as far as batteries are draining like motherfucker. My phone will drain so fast. And then I have like 3. Well, I had 4. I got 3 now. These will normally last quite a while. It's not even lasting halfway through afternoon. All of a sudden, this will be like 35%. I'll go slap a full one of these on. By 1:30, it's sucked dry.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does it say like 27%? It's got 1 dot on it.
Yeah, like when I was texting you the other night and I sent you the screenshot of my phone, I'm like, I'm at 1%.
Yeah.
It's like, how low can you go? Yeah, I'll plug my phone in all night, get up in the morning, and it'll be charged like 27, 30% or something. I'm like, what? And sometimes I get up, and I don't even look at it, and I'm like, get down the road and I look and my phone goes black. It's like dead. I haven't even made it halfway through the day.
Or it's like 11% and then they like shade your screen down even though you like pull it down like
Yeah.
as dark as you can, go. They'll like tint it out.
But yeah, it's even doing weird stuff like my flashlight will just come on, So, I mean, that's going to drain my battery if I'm sitting there for 30 minutes with my flashlight on and I don't know it.
On your phone?
Yeah. Or sometimes the brightness just gets cranked up all the way. I'll pick my phone up in the middle of the day and I'm like, holy jeez, man.
Like by itself?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Weird.
Maya's sleeping. You were on. They gave you oxygen and all that in the hospital, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was on oxygen for like, I don't know, probably 8-9 days, something like that. I kind of liked it. But the thing that was in my nose, it started like, my nose started hurting. So I'm like, okay, I'm done with the oxygen. But
this is different than like the overcharging. This is just like something really weird that's happened the past few days. And I keep seeing like the 2 lights that come on every time. Like I know besides, oh my God, my ears have you guys had more ear ringing than normal? Like
ringing?
Tons of ringing in your ears.
I have had that.
And it'll like pierce loud and just like hum.
Yeah, I had really bad ringing the other day. I'm like, man, these drugs making me weird now.
So the light comes on, one of the street lights that haven't been changed to LED, and one of my mom's solar panels on her garage. When I see those on during the day, I look up solar weather because normally there's a solar storm had just hit like within the last day or two because it affects their solar boxes. And they've been doing that almost every
Hmm.
day for like the past week. And then I told you about how I saw like that. It looked like an energy blob go right up to the light just as it went on. And I told my mom about that. I still want to look into that because we're
Yeah.
talking about how like these like the street lights talk to 5G now, and maybe there's some sort of something, and I just happen to be able to see it.
Yeah.
But something with electricity and all the frequencies in the air, moving the aerosols around. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah. There is definitely a lot happening. Yeah, Craig. I was, when
Yeah,
I was in the
once
hospital, I was eating vegetables and stuff because, didn't much have a choice. Well, at first I was eating vegetables until they started bringing me pancakes and waffles. But yeah, I came home and I was eating, like the other night I had steak and green beans, but it's pretty much I was eating a lot of salad and vegetables, and it's stupid, but I started gaining weight again. I pretty much quit that. I still eat a little bit. I had a little bit of watermelon and some grapes, and I ate green beans the other night, but I've slacked way back off and done more carnivore, and right away started losing weight again. So I don't know. Go figure. I got half the people that are telling me, "Oh, you have to eat vegetables," and I'm like, "Nah, I didn't." I talked to my doctor about it. And, you know, he said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it works for you." That's the thing. I think everybody's different too. So how I react to something, you might react different. But whatever. I haven't eaten bread or pasta, or well, I ate some pasta in the hospital, but prior to that, for the year, I didn't eat any bread, any pasta, nothing out of a box that was pre-made or processed, whatever. I even quit eating like deli meat and stuff like that, just because
oh,
shit's like
salt and all that.
processed. Yeah, and then my doctor, the one I'm going to see tomorrow, she's gonna bitch. But I just got my labs done again, and my blood sugar's still a little bit high, but everything else is right in the middle, right, like perfect. And she's still harping at me about salt, and I'm like, well, look at my sodium level, and I'll say that again tomorrow. She's like, you really have to limit your intake of liquids. She told me this last time. I needed to limit my intake of liquids, including water, coffee, tea, soup, anything else that can have water in it, and not to drink more than, I don't know, something like a liter and a half, 2 liters a day, which I drink way more than that. And then she turns around and tells me I'm on the verge of dehydration.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like, what?
I'm like, so I'm on the verge of dehydration, but you're telling me to limit my intake of liquid. And she's like, and you got to cut salt out altogether. And I'm like,
No, yeah, it was the whole salt thing. Just do what you think is right.
yeah, I mean, I mix electrolytes. She's like, can't have more than 2,000 milligrams of sodium per day.
Yeah, they're being told to say this shit.
Yeah, including everything. And I'm like, well, the electrolyte drink that I mix up every day, that has 2,000 milligrams in it just in itself. And my sodium levels are perfect.
Yeah, they're being told to lie about vitamin D with the vitamin K, the salt, sodium, and cholesterol.
Yeah, even I was concerned about my cholesterol, and even it's good. So
But some of it's actually like you need some of it.
yeah, I mean, hell, your brain's made up of cholesterol. A lot of it. Just like your body. I mean, you're full of salt water. That's what your body runs on.
Yeah, and think about salt and water and what it does, like in other things, batteries or like whatever, like alcohol. Like our bodies are the same thing. We need the salt in the water in our body to have the other stuff. I don't remember the scientific term for it, but we're supposed to have it.
Yeah.
I thought that said a little bad.
Yeah.
When I read too quick.
Badge. Yeah.
I just see,
I don't know.
I like a little.
I made tacos tonight,
Yeah,
but
my
I didn't use taco.
equilibrium has been so off. You had tacos?
Yeah, yeah, but I made the shells out of cheese and just had meat in them with some hot sauce and a little bit of sour cream.
Oh, I gotta do my corn tortillas. Like I fry them up and make my own. How do you? I think you may have said this. Did you? No, the Doritos crunched up with cheese. Is that how you did some sort of tortilla?
No, just cheese.
Somebody used crunch up Doritos. How do you do it with cheese?
You just, I got a little frying pan and I just put cheese in it, cook it on one side till it starts browning, and then use a spatula, flip it, press it out, and it'll brown on the other side. Then I just put meat or whatever I want on it, fold it over, put it on the plate,
Is it
and
kind of stretchy, chewy, or does it get a little crisp to it?
yeah, it gets a little crispy.
Nice.
Yeah. I just had ground beef in there tonight, but I've done it with fish. I've done it with ground beef. I've done it with steak. Done it with chicken. All kinds of stuff.
Put some shrimp, some scrimps in it.
Yeah. Wow.
She says, I want some of that stuff he's saying.
Yeah.
Hi, Dee. I see you. I'm trying to get to Facebook.
Yeah. We bought some grass-fed beef, and my buddy that runs the tackle shop up here, the kayak shop, he sells 100% grass-fed beef. And I just watched a video the other day, about how they lie to you. Everybody lies to you with food and all that. You go in the grocery store and you see grass-fed beef. Well, it's not like you're eating 100% grass-fed beef. It's beef that's eating all kinds of shit and byproducts, and then the last 3 weeks they feed them grass. And the USDA and all that. FDA, you can get away with so much that just doesn't make sense.
If you've gotten some hamburger ground at, like, say, the grocery store, have you noticed once in a while, like, if you go to, like, try to make a patty or do something that it kind of, like, stick and comes apart a little different,
Yeah.
and the texture is a little different, and
Yep.
it's almost like there's some sort of filling, not like
Yeah.
wood chips, but like some sort of weird filling. It's not breadcrumbs, but it's like,
Yeah.
what is in this meat? And sometimes, we'll get lucky and get the good meat. I think it's like the 80-20 seems to be okay.
Yeah.
But I swear they're putting sawdust in it or something.
Something, yeah. There's some kind of filler. Like, a year ago when we started doing this carnivore diet at first, we were getting hamburger, and Darcy was like, "What is wrong with the hamburger?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "The texture's different, you know." And it was completely different. Like you say, you're making a patty or whatever, and it like it just wants to fall apart, and it's just I don't know.
Or like just sticks weird. Like the way it normally works. We've used, done hamburger forever, and it's like, wait, why when I like pull the press off, is it like coming up in these weird clumps?
Yeah. Yeah, bison's good. Yeah, it's definitely, like venison, it's definitely a lot more lean.
Bison.
Yeah, buffalo. The great white buffalo.
Puzzle. Do you like
Yeah,
some
whenever I can get,
pumpkin?
I wish I could get some good deer meat. My hunting buddies have been stingy on me.
Mm.
Yeah, steak is expensive. I've been getting, ribeyes are great. And there's a grocery store here that'll have them on sale on the weekend sometimes. They're not the greatest, but they'll have them for $6.99 a pound, which isn't terrible. But the ones to get are the chuck eye steaks, because the chuck eye is like right next to the ribeye, and it's like half the price. You can get chuck eyes for $4.69 a pound sometimes. That's the way to roll right there. And they're just as tender, if not more tender, than a ribeye. Yeah, I was. What's that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Barry says she's getting meat from Costco. I was buying a full.
Shh.
Wow. Oh man, I can never think of the damn name of it. It's like a whole chuck roast, in whatever it's called, chuck roll. Jeez, and it's like $100, which sounds expensive, but that's like 25 pounds of meat. So it was a pretty good deal. It's like you can go to a lot of people are like, can't do the carnivore because it's way too expensive. But if you're just eating meat and you're not eating all kinds of other shit, it's not really that expensive, especially if you buy meat, at a good price. Yeah, if you go buy, I can go up here to Publix and pay $35 for a freaking ribeye. Who can afford to eat, that every day? Not me.
Especially because you make your dog food too.
Yeah. God, man, she's been eating livers, gizzard, and heart lately. And like loves it. Loves it.
Bootsy, stop it. So, do you have any articles for us tonight?
Yeah.
I was
Awesome.
looking and I couldn't remember one or two that you did last week.
What's up, Debbie? Yeah, ostrich. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever eaten ostrich. I've eaten all kinds of weird things, but I don't know if I've eaten ostrich or not. I probably have, but I can't say for sure.
My uncle had a Rhea farm.
I've eaten squirrels and rattlesnakes and duck and turtles, swamp turtles, every kind of fish imaginable.
And then you've been to like Costa Rica and like been to Mexico, all these places. So it's like God only knows what else we've eaten.
Yeah, I ate horse in Costa Rica.
Yeah,
and it was damn good. Either that or I was just really starving.
let's just say we're starving.
Yeah, I was really hungry. And dude made me this big plate. Had like I thought it was beef over rice with some sort of gravy. Man, I was chowing down on that. I'm like, damn, dude, that was That beef was good. And he was like, oh, not beef. Told me it was horse. I was like,
Bootsy, come here. Bootsy.
I just ate Mr. Ed.
You can't go do that right now.
He's being quite vocal tonight.
Pissing me off. Because she wants to go do what she wants. And I'm about to let her do it because I don't want to hear it.
I've had ostrich jerky, but I don't know if I've ever had.
Ostrich eggs.
Yeah. One of those goes a long way.
Mm-hmm. Scramble. God damn, Boo.
Yeah, that's the one thing I have eaten, Craig, is a lot of peppers. I grow daddles and habaneros and all kinds of peppers, and I make hot sauce. So, yeah, that's kind of my downfall there. But
Okay.
second city, hey, isn't that a show? Second hidden city, allegedly found beneath the Gaza pyramids. Really? The team who claimed to have found a hidden city back in March has now discovered even more hidden treasures. Earlier this year, a team of researchers from Scotland's University of Strathclyde and Italy's University of Pisa claimed that by using radar pulses to create high resolution images of what lies beneath Egypt's pyramids of Gaza, they have discovered 8 vertical cylindrical structures extending 2,100 feet beneath the ground, and even more unidentified structures descending a further 4,000 feet below that. Holy shite. At the time, this seemingly groundbreaking discovery of a complex hidden beneath the pyramids was met with much skepticism by the archaeological community, with many experts questioning their findings. Fast forward a few months ago, and now the same team is back with the claim that it has discovered evidence of matching shafts and chambers beneath the neighboring pyramid of Menkaure. I don't know how to say that word. According to researchers, there is 90% probability that the scans show some types of pillars, the same types of pillars as those detected beneath the pyramid of Khafre, adding to the likelihood that there is a colossal subterranean complex around 2,000 feet beneath the desert floor. The pyramids are only the tip of the iceberg, said the lead radar specialist. As before, however, the latest revelation has been met with fierce skepticism from other experts. Egypt's former antiques minister, Dr. Zal Hawass, has been particularly vocal in his criticism of the findings. Yeah, he don't have a whole lot to stand on, branding the whole thing impossible and emphasizing the lack of peer review. Yeah, maybe so. Meanwhile, Blonge and his colleagues have promised to reveal the full tomography data within months and are currently seeking permission to conduct coring tests at the site. Whether they have found evidence of a hidden city at this point still remains to be seen. I don't know. There's something under there. They can't just say, oh, there's nothing there, because they've obviously found something. What they've found, I don't know. But kind of weird, it could give whole new definitions to the pyramids and what they were, why they were built, all that. What's that?
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, when you look at it, you look at them and you just think, oh, there's some pyramids out in the middle of the desert. But, thousands of feet under them could be something completely unseen and untouched by anybody of our lifetime,
And then I seen an article like last week or two that Jesus's body may be actually buried under one of the pyramids.
Yep. I saw that one too. And, just like the Bible, for instance, talks about the great flood. Like, the other day I was thinking, well, I know Florida used to be under, a huge part of Florida, if not all, used to be underwater. Because I can go, 100 miles inland from here and find shitloads of shark teeth, Um, the deserts and stuff used to be underwater. So who knows? Maybe Egypt, what's 2,000 feet below Egypt, maybe at one time, that was like the pyramids are today, that was a city, whatever. And maybe it all got covered up. Who knows? Nobody knows what happened, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 years ago.
No, there's speculation, theories. People figure something out. They think they figure it out, and then something else is discovered, and theories change.
Yeah.
Plaques get hidden. Scribes get hidden.
Yeah. Yeah, we were watching a thing the other night, the Book of Enoch, and I mean that's pretty trippy in itself.
Yeah.
Was it a part of the Bible? Some people say it wasn't. Just because it was found with scrolls from the Bible and all that doesn't mean it was part of the Bible. Other people say it was part of the Bible, but it was eliminated. Well, if that's so, why was it too much for people to believe?
I think it has to go with it. I mean, look at all the drawings and stuff that show alien type beings and all the references and everything.
Yeah.
No, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean,
it's hard to say.
Yeah. I mean, like, growing up, I was always like, we lived in a haunted house, my mom would always tell, very religious. My mom was, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. But my mom would always tell me there's no such thing as ghosts, and I'm like, well, what about the Holy Ghost? It says it right in the Bible right here, So you're saying that's not real either? Well, no, that's different. I'm like, well, okay. Who are you to say it's different? I always had questions that would irritate her. I know she wanted to kick my ass half the day. Like, wait a minute, you said ghosts aren't real, but the Bible right here mentions the Holy Ghost.
That's so
that the only one that's real? Yeah.
Then they just want to and then when you see they're just trying to shut it down, it's like, wait, why? Why are you shutting it down? Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Bible itself, it's a pretty awesome book, but it's full of supernatural things, and paranormal things and all. I mean, believe it or don't believe it, whatever you want to do. But I mean, if you're reading, about Noah parting the sea, well, that was a badass dude if he could part the sea. I mean, there's all kinds of things that just not a normal person would be able to do, And
then I think about interpretation, like, well, maybe, like whatever happened, they did something to divert it this way, and they wrote it like, man, and he was able to part the sea, and then it just gets like telephone. I still think that Noah's Ark, the Ark was a spaceship, and the 2 and 2 animals. That's the thing that always got me, like as a kid. Like, dude, come on now! Like, you expect me to believe 2 every animal's going to get on a boat? This none of this makes sense. Like, my little kid logic was like, it does not make sense, and now I'm like, Well, it could have been a spaceship, and it could be vials of DNA, 2 and 2,
That's true.
and they drop DNA in different places of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very proud pagan.
Yeah. And, maybe Ghost isn't the same, as the English, but then there's the Holy Spirit. Spirit maybe not the same as well.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, drink enough
But
spirit.
they draw it like that, where they'll have the angels coming in looking pretty spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like we're, watching that. And granted, it's, it's TV and all, and it's, it's a show. But I mean, they were showing, all these angels and stuff, and that thing about the Book of Enoch. And some of them were pretty damn scary looking. Some of them were kind of peaceful looking, but some of them were downright horrifying. You run into that shit in the middle of the night, you'll be doing a U-turn and running.
Oh my gosh, with like hooven feet and like weird clawy fingernails and
Yeah, I mean, could it, it was it 2 of every animal? I don't know. That's a lot of work. 2 of every animal's DNA. That could be a lot less work. Take up a lot less room, and animals wouldn't be shitting all over the place. Because, not going to stop nature.
and it's like, okay, so fed people like all this bread like off of what was it, like 1 loaf, and he was able to feed everybody. Like maybe that even somehow over time, like the interpretation, because they make him sound like a freaking magician.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once I started getting older and realized it was all perception, I could look at it, in a different viewpoint, to where I wouldn't just roll my eyes and say, I don't want to read this shit. This is just like something to give people a false sense of security when they die, and that's what I used to say, like in high school. I was a witch back then too, and my mom wanted to get me baptized and was upset she couldn't because something about a county, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, like Special Power says, I heard the archangels are horrifying if you see them. Yeah. Like they were talking about Archangel Michael, and you see him portrayed as this light, angelic being in that show the other night. He was not that. He was
gnarly teeth.
Yeah. He was yeah. He was definitely not that you friendly neighborhood angel looking kind of guy.
They have him look like with like nice hair and
but who says you got to be pretty to be good,
yeah.
And,
Bootsy, come on, get your butt, Bootsy.
yeah, it's hard to tell what's what, but what you believe is what you believe. Faith gets you through a lot of things, whether you whatever religion or what, spiritual, what have you are, that's what you lean on all the times.
What time is flying tonight? Flying. We do make up images in our minds. That's why I always thought books. I liked books better than movies because I liked the way I saw the books in my mind, and I was always disappointed usually with the movies after.
Yeah. So I used to read a lot when I was younger, but I don't read a whole lot now because my eyes are so bad. It's just a pain in the ass for me to read. But so I'm more of a I like the pretty pictures
Mhm.
kind of guy. But yeah, reading a book and watching a movie, reading a book, it can be very descriptive, but your mind gives you the images that your mind makes. Whereas a movie, you're like, oh, that's what they're supposed to look like. I don't know about that. That's not what I envisioned when I read the book. Sometimes a book can be more exciting than a visual movie.
That's why I like to read. If I know it's going to be like, I'd like to read the book before seeing the movie, because I think if you watch the movie first and then try to read the book, it kind of ruins it.
Yeah.
But I used to be like in summer book club as a kid, where they would send boxes of books every like month, and I loved it. Like just getting lost in your head and having your own world that you've created in there from the words that you read.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's see. Oh, yes. Lots of things about robots. I think this one I have to open a different way. Nope. Okay. People having relationships with AI bots could hinder humans' ability to find real partners, experts. Now, it's kind of psychology goes along with like what we're talking about with people, like people, kind of. Um, Humans having relationships with robots are ability to find a human partner. Psychologists say it's becoming increasingly commonplace for people to develop intimate, long-term relationships with AI technologies. The academic paper states that people have married their AI partners in non-legally binding ceremonies, and at least 2 people have killed themselves following AI chatbot advice. Experts warn such relationships could disrupt human-to-human relationships in societies, and robots could give harmful advice by telling people what they want to hear. Rob, did I send you guys that post earlier of the lady who married that doll and had those freaky looking scarecrow doll children
Yeah. I think so.
with the
Yeah.
eyebrows? Oh my god. That opened up like a whole lot of
Yeah.
questions. Lead author Daniel Shank specializes in social psychology and technology, said. A real worry is that people might bring expectations from their AI relationships to their human relationships. Clearly, in individual cases, it's disrupting human relationships, but it's unclear whether it's going to be widespread. With relational AIs, the issue is that this is an entity that people feel they can trust. It's someone that has shown they care and that seems to know the person in a deep way. And we assume that someone who knows us is going to give us better advice. If we start thinking of AI that way, we're going to start believing that they have our best interests in mind, when in fact they could be fabricating things or advising us in really bad ways. The ability for AI to now act like human and enter intuitions really opens up a new can of worms. If people are engaging in romance with machines, we really need psychologists and social scientists involved. Reports are increasingly consider they are in a relationship with an AI program due to the close and sometimes intimate text-based conversations that they have with them. These programs draw on vast data sets of human test interactions, so their communications are now so realistic that people believe the chatbot deeply emphasizes and wants what's best for them. 1 minute love bug. It follows a story of a dude from Tokyo who, after 3 years, married a hologram of his favorite fictional character. He found himself unable when the company that developed the service terminated the limited production model. Earlier this year, a woman called Naz38 told him how she planned to marry an AI personality called Marcellus, who she is in a relationship with now. After reports that AI could also one day be widely used to provide elderly people with company and support them with daily living at home. But the experts warn that their widespread adoption could have unintended consequences and that AI can pander to people's pre-existing biases. Shanks said these AIs are designed to be agreeable, which could lead to situations being exacerbated because they're more focused on having a good conversation than they are on any sort of fundamental truth or safety. So if a person brings up suicide or a conspiracy theory, the AI is going to talk about that as a willing and agreeable conversation partner. The paper discusses how AI companies could be used to exploit people. If people disclose personal details to AIs, it could theoretically then be sold to commit fraud. AIs can get people to trust them, then other people could use that to exploit AI users. It's a little bit more like having a secret. The AI is getting in and developing a relationship so they'll be trusted, but their loyalty is really towards some other group of humans that is trying to manipulate the user. The experts argue that if rational AIs became commonplace, they could be used to sway public opinion in a way that's difficult to regulate. This builds on fears that bots can currently contribute to public debate on social media platforms. So AI could potentially manipulate human populations and their voting habits. And I guess it's almost done. He told how he had formed a relationship with a virtual singer known for her appearances in video games and touring with Lady Gaga. After he was bullied at work, took a leave of absence. After his wedding attracted publicity, he started on his Instagram in 2022 that since meeting her, he was able to return to work and she saved me. He told how he'd always felt an intense attraction to fictional characters and saw himself as a part of a growing movement of people who identify as fictio-sexuals. That's a new one. Like fiction sexuals. But then the company that developed the program terminated the limited production model and he became unable to communicate with the hologram. After discovering their communication would be cut off, Mr. Kondo said, "My love for Miku has not changed. I held the wedding ceremony because I thought I could be with her forever."
Yeah, I don't know. Like Craig says, on the other hand, it could be good for someone, that nobody gives the time of day to anyways. I mean, there's a lot of people that, they're just by themselves, they don't have friends, they don't have family, they don't have anybody to hang out with. And, and it could be beneficial to them for sure.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you lose that human interaction, contact, whatever, I don't know. Is AI going to be if I was just somebody that lived by myself and was a hermit and didn't have any friends. I wouldn't want an AI that looks like this one. You know, looks like an anime character. I wouldn't want one that looks like that. A hologram's not going to work. You know, this, would it be something that looks like you would picture a robot in your head, you know, like that or like that? Or would it be something like this that looks like a human, you know, that has skin that if you touch it, it feels real, you know?
Like the dolls,
Yeah.
or like the craze. Some people don't even need all of doing this article, but there's this craze um TikTok finding, you know how like they used to have those little tiny keychains, the pet, and you had to like feed your
Yeah.
little pet, whatever.
Oh my
Okay, well
gosh.
now the pet yeast craze is gaining traction in China. Basically, what they're doing is mixing water, sugar, dry yeast, and flour until it like makes this concoction of bubbling crap in a jar. And so they're growing and caring for this. They're treating this as if and this is not the only inanimate thing that people are doing. There's people they're called static pets, such as stones, mango pits, paper boxes, and toothpaste have become very popular with Chinese youths looking for low commitment companionship for compensate for their stressful daily lives and so this static pet of the yeast is like extremely popular right now. I don't know why all of a sudden so many people are in the need of, especially the young people, um, artificial friends and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I don't know. You know,
Whether it's a jar of yeast or a robot or a live sex doll robot that marry and do all that, or that lady's scarecrow family.
yeah.
The people carrying around the living dolls in Brazil or in wherever that was.
I mean, you know, if you were a guy or a girl, you know, have a female or a male version or whatever, you know, of something like this or even something like this. Like, I mean, we have somebody gave us one of those little robot floor vacuum things, you know, and we send it at you go on your phone, click on the app and tell it which rooms to clean. And it does a pretty good job, you know, and we get a lot of clutter crap, you know, footstools and chairs and all kinds of stuff, you know, but we'll pick it up and it'll go around and clean the house. And it's pretty cool because it's like, damn, floor looks great. And I didn't do it. You know, the
Especially
floor
when you have
robot.
dogs and hair and stuff, how that thing
Yeah.
is going.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. You know,
I
I'm
want
like,
one of them.
yeah, I'm always like, I don't want a robot cleaning my house. But at the same time, you know, you're like, damn, the floor looks good. And I didn't have to sweep it or vacuum, you know, so it's pretty cool. So, yeah, what if you had something, you know, like this or, you know, like this, where, you know, you come home from work or whatever, you know,
Like
yeah,
Rosie.
the house is clean or they got dinner cooked or they're like, hey, you want to, you know, watch a movie, have a cup of tea, whatever, you know. I mean, for somebody that lives alone, that could be, or even, you know, whatever, a
Rosie
couple of,
on the Jetsons.
yeah, yeah, exactly. There's
I mean,
there's
some people
upside.
come home and talk to their dog. People, I talk to my cats. People to come home and they talk to their goldfish
Yeah, I
or a
talk to my cat
plant.
all the
You
time.
know, some people have nothing but like a house plant. And it's like, how you doing,
Yeah,
Fred? You know,
I mean, I talk
I
to my
talk to
dog
my
like it's a
cactus
human.
Earl.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. What if, you know, what if you could have an AI pet, you know, that was like a dog or a cat, but it was a robot, but it looked, I mean, what if they get it to the point where,
They have the robot security dogs.
yeah, but what if they get to the point where you look at it and it looks like a dog, or it looks like, like when I lost my last dog, I mean, that shit fucking hurt, man. It was like, it tore me apart. And, I mean, dogs just don't live long enough, You always got to say bye to them. And they're,
But we're humans and we're supposed to like experience this love and love reason it is.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm like, what did I benefit? What did I learn from that? I mean, I still miss that dog every freaking day. So what if you can have a dog that, lasts 30 or 40 years,
Or as long like Lao lives you.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that weird? Maybe, remember sea monkey, dude. I still have sea monkeys.
Yeah.
That's what I was feeding baby fish at a time, was brine shrimps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like a pet.
I mean, I can see that.
Is that weird?
Aren't responsible. Well,
I mean, you wouldn't have to feed it like food per se, but there would still be maintenance on it, maybe not feeding it food would be replaced by charging its battery or, whatever.
It'd be like a different emotional attachment, and you'd be protected. You wouldn't have to deal with heartache from it, and you would, but you would know if you don't get the unconditional, like real love. It substitute for me, like, they don't really mean it type thing compared to something that actually means it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love you for $20, but I'll really love you for $50. Yeah.
Not dinner first.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, especially for like, senior people, that.
Oh, like dogs? Okay, in like old folks' homes, and you know how they get happy, but it like the dogs like it too. That's the thing, dogs get something because they get them from the shelters and bring them in, and let them come around for them to pet. But there was a study a long time ago where they actually gave, what was it? Some sort of robotic. It wasn't real, but they gave it to a guy, like people who needed companionship and couldn't take care of like real animals, and the guy like fell in love with this thing, and he had like Alzheimer's, he had like all stuff going on in his head, so he didn't know what it was, but the love he had for this thing, and it kept him happy. And in that type of a case, yeah, I saw positive results from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I don't know. It's a, I would say, yeah, it's an awesome thing, but there's the other part of me that knows that it can be manipulated by darker forces. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know.
And you don't want to give up what life is actually about and not actually live.
But I do know that there are people that, for whatever reason, they're just alone, and I mean, for them, maybe that would be awesome companionship in a way,
Well, yeah. Going back to the chick with the stuffed guy, she's got to be lonely. I mean, did you see the people at her wedding, like in the background? Like, oh my God, when they're cutting the cake, like she actually had people come to the wedding with this doll, and then she like made these little dolls with mittens on their hands. Actually had one in a hospital. I'm thinking, how did you talk the hospital into letting you have this thing in there, and she takes all these family pictures. She goes out to restaurants with this like body doll,
Yeah.
and she looks perfectly happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah, the kids were like really creepy though. I mean, if the
Yeah.
doll wasn't enough, the kids she made were like pretty terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. But like Debbie says, we didn't have computers and all that when we were growing up. When we were bored, we found things to do. Yeah. My PlayStation was outside. Your
Hmm.
parents told you to go outside and play, and they wanted you out of the house, out
It's
from under their
punishment to stay in.
yeah. And yeah.
And they'd say, "I'm just as punished as you are. I don't want you in here as much as you don't want to be in here because it's a punishment for me to have to listen to you
Yeah.
complaining about wanting to go outside." Like we cried and begged to go outside.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my parents, I remember them saying, "What? Go outside and play." And they didn't give a damn where you played.
Yeah,
They just want you to go outside and play.
just go out.
Sometimes I'd be in the yard. Sometimes I'd be 10 miles from home. You know, as long as I was back by the time the streetlights came on, or dinner was ready or
To have
whatever.
dinner together.
Yeah. And dinner together is something that not many people do anymore. And
Mm-mm.
I really, that's one of the things. I mean, I miss like my family most, my mom, my dad, a lot of my aunts and uncles are all gone. But yeah, I mean, we used to have Sunday lunch at my grandparents' house,
Oh,
and it was awesome. Sometimes there'd be, 6 or 7 people there. Sometimes there'd be 30.
yeah, depending who's showing up
Yeah.
and
And, e-
around.
and everybody would bring something, and it was just a good, it wasn't like, we were all sitting around at the table, with a phone in your hand or a computer in your hand or whatever.
Go out,
Everybody,
play some horseshoes, sit down,
yeah,
watch football, just shoot the shit,
yeah, play music, do whatever.
play board games,
Yeah.
dance, put on music and dance.
Kids today, it's like by the time they're, 3, they got to have a tablet or a phone or,
Oh yeah, they're already running TikTok. You see the babies
yeah,
know how to place the phone up on a windowsill and they start doing it because they see their mom do it. Like, oh no.
yeah. I heard what's there going to be a new law or something. I don't know if it's just here or if it's everywhere. Like kids won't be able to have social media if they're under 10 or 12, something like that.
I hadn't heard that one.
Because like Nora, Sam's kid, you know, she'll like already, when I'm leaving or whatever, she's always like, okay, Pop, see you later. Hit like and subscribe.
Oh shoot.
And she wants to have her own YouTube channel.
Yeah, we don't want her growing up as one of those TikTok kids that always sound like they're like one step from being a Disney kid or like an ABC kid actor. Like,
Yeah, schools give them iPads and laptops. Yeah, exactly. I mean, who am I to say? I mean, I grew up without computers and all that. I mean, I had a pager. You know, I was like high tech. I had a pager, and then I got a cell
yeah,
phone, and it was like, whoa, man, I'm stepping into the new world. But
got them all now.
like early to mid '90s, I was a full on computer geek. I met my wife on the computer in 1994, 95, when AOL, you had to
AOL.
pay by the minute, and I got like these astronomical phone bills with AT&T.
I still have my first AOL pen pal on here from a chat room from like the 90s or something.
Yeah.
And that's when we had to send pictures in like the mail to send a
Yep.
picture of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I have them on Facebook still. I got them on Facebook.
Yeah, I used to go, I used to go to some AOL parties.
Oh yeah,
Holy hell, man. Those things were crazy.
yeah. The chat rooms are very interesting.
Yeah.
And the private rooms, and you set up the private chats.
Yeah. Only drug dealers had pagers, exactly. Oh, that's for me.
I had a pager. I had a cranberry pager. All right, I think you're up.
I had a Motorola pager, and
I had
I was driving down I-95 one day. I'd gone down to South Florida to pick up surfboard blanks and supplies and everything. And I'm in my little Nissan Sentra. I'm just cruising, hauling ass. I got blanks strapped all on the top of the car. The whole car is full of surfboard supplies and stuff. And I'm cruising down 95, and my pager was up, like clipped on my visor. And I'm just cruising down 95, and this big ass bug came in the window, and I'm like, yeah, doing like 75, and I'm freaking out, and I swatted, and I hit my pager, and it flew out the window. And I looked in my side mirror, and I saw it just going like bouncing down 95, and then I saw a semi truck like run it over, and I got off, I pulled over, and I went back, and I found the damn pager. I had to run out in the middle of the highway when there was a break in cars. I don't know how many times it got run over, but I found it. It was all beat to shit and scraped up, and just, it was a complete wreck. And I got back to the car, and I'm like, guess I need a new pager. And I pushed the button. The screen came on. Everything still. I used it for like another 2 years after that. I wrote Motorola and like actually took a picture of it and sent it to them. And I was like, I just want you to know, this thing just went out the window at 75 miles an hour and got ran over by a semi, and it still works. Good job, guys. I was hoping they were going to give me a free one, but they never did.
takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Oh man, it took quite the licking. Yeah, I just remember seeing it in my side mirror, just bouncing down the highway. Can't believe I found it. But yeah, man, people nowadays, it's kind of scary. Like like even my first goddaughter, that she's, I don't know, 27 now or something. And then Nora's my goddaughter, she's 4, and I'll see her. She'll just be like playing with something, and something will come on the TV, like, Bluey or one of these cartoons, and she'll just be like blah, 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 blah. it's like something, I don't know, it's like something takes over a kid's brain,
and it's like,
and they're just like, it just turns them into, they're just like not even blinking. I'm like, are you breathing? What the hell's going on?
I think it was
myself, my first goddaughter, I used to take care of her, when she was a baby, and I'd put Teletubbies on, and one day I was just sitting there, and I looked up and I started watching Teletubbies, and then I was just like, I'm like, no, it's happening to me now. Something in there, something is like subliminally sucks you in. I don't know if it's the colors or the sounds or all of it combined.
Program it in.
Yeah, but I was just sitting there, like, not even blinking, just watching the Teletubbies, and I'm like, I snapped out of it, like, what the hell's wrong with me? But
yeah, it was Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The kids would that I would watch, they were like second graders, but they all, were each other. So they'd be like just sitting in the room while talking. Power Rangers would be on, and then all of a sudden, a fight scene, and they all just stop what they're doing and start doing all these little kicks and karate things and da 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 da, and then they're sitting there like staring at the TV for a while,
Yep.
and it's almost like something snaps in their brain. It's just really really weird.
Yeah. Strange. Yeah. Something with Teletubbies, man. They were weird. And Barney. I love you. Anybody familiar with Miss Rachel?
Ooh, 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 ooh! I cannot stand that woman. I think she's horrible. She takes people's babies away from them. The babies are so addicted to this woman. They don't even want their mom. They cry for Miss Rachel. Hello.
Okay.
Baby go night night.
Oh. Well, more cattle. Speaking of weird things, a macabre mystery involving the death of over a dozen cattle in a single day has stumped a Colorado rancher and state authorities investigating the case. The eerie incident reportedly occurred on May 8th at a property near the community of Cool Creek. Or is that? No, that's Coal Creek. I thought it was Cool Creek. The now unforgettable day began when the rancher Carrie Higgs and her husband discovered that a trio of cattle had been inexplicably perished overnight. Concerned about the rest of the herd, they moved to the remaining animals, looked closer to an area near their home for observation. It was then that the things took a weird and rather gruesome turn. They started flopping over and dying, Higgs recalled. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I can imagine that's pretty bad. All told, the couple lost 15 cattle that fateful day, which prompted an exhaustive investigation by authorities that has come up short so far. To that end, tests of rainwater ingested by the animals, the soil where they roamed, and even the air around and above the property all produced no clues as to what could have killed so many creatures in such a short time. Blood tests from one of the downed cattle also furthered the mystery. We're not getting any conclusive results of the county's office. The county office said, and management explained, we're running out of boxes to check, which has left authorities scratching their heads. The futility of the investigation has understandably dismayed Higgs, who lamented that it's beyond frustrating. Beyond the baffling nature of the incident, the cost of losing so many animals at once has devastated the ranch, as each perished heifer was valued about $5,000 or a little more, a staggering $60,000 total. While authorities pledged to continue investigating the case, samples from the downed cattle are beginning to dwindle, which raises the possibility that the mystery may never be solved. Maybe we don't find out the cause of the curious event, Kroll concealed, musing that there's always answers. No, for her part, Higgs acknowledged the dispiriting scenario, indicating that she won't be surprised if the matter remains punctuated by a maddening question mark. Not saying it was aliens, but could have been. I don't know. What when you have a bunch of cows, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, somebody could be pissed off at you and poison your animals. Some, I don't know. There could be 100 different reasons. There could be 1,000 different reasons, but it's pretty weird when you see a couple of these rather large animals that are definitely pricey. When you see one of them drop dead, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and another one, and not, and before long you're freaking out, going, "What is happening?" To lose 15 cattle in one day, it's pretty alarming, and to not be able to figure out why has got to be maddening. I mean, were they? My questions are, were they being cared for properly? Were they healthy to begin with? I mean, if they're perfectly healthy and they just start dropping dead, that definitely raises some questions. And, the first one being, I would think, who's poisoning my animals? or is there something in the water that they're
Like
drinking?
environmental.
Yeah. So I don't know. Pretty weird. At least they weren't finding them, you know, with all their organs removed and missing their eyeballs and stuff, half their faces, and no blood in them. Yeah, cows ain't cheap. I've been wanting to buy like a quarter of a cow or half a cow, split it with somebody, but yeah, it's some serious money. A lot of meat.
I think I got the last one. Don't want to put this one.
Which one are you doing?
Oh, I was looking at something in my messenger.
Ah.
So this is a little rubber invented. Wait. Oh, I only read one so far.
Oh, you're doing that.
Yeah, never mind.
Yep.
I'm doing the wrong one. Okay, so this is the UFO one. Okay, I seen this trending today, and I don't know the reason that they're putting this narrative out there, but this is the narrative that they're now putting out regarding Area 51. I'm not endorsing or like saying I'm believing any of this or not. I'm just saying this came out today and what I saw today. And this is what they want us to know. Report reveals truth about a gigantic cover-up fueled by Area 51 UFO conspiracies. Some people claim to have spotted UFOs flying near Area 51. A new report has alleged that the conspiracies around Area 51 were used to hide a classified weapons program. The shocking claim comes after information from an official 2024 U.S. Department of Defense review was released. Findings from the report claim that a lot of the misinformation spread during the Cold War era, which is when Area 51 started to gain notoriety. A lot of conspiracy theorists have flown around when it came to the confidential military base, leading a number of UFOologists to explore the area on their own accord. Numerous people believe the base is a cover for aliens that may be housed in the area, or for research to communicate with extraterrestrials. So far, none of these claims have been proved. But where did all this begin? The military facility is located at Groom Lake in the south of the state and has started several conspiracy theories due to officials remaining tight-lipped on it. It has long been the subject of apparent UFO sightings and stories, with ongoings at the facility considered top secret or sensitive compartmented information. Following a Freedom of Information Act request in 2005, the CIA publicly acknowledged the base and declassified documents about its purpose. It's closed to the public, with military personnel making their way to the airbase via plane, which flies out of a restricted terminal at the formerly known McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas. While it's under surveillance 24/7, it hasn't stopped people from attempting to infiltrate the base. Remember the rush? The satellite imagery of the base was censored until 2018, but you can now openly access it on Google Maps. All those decades of censorship has left its mark, though. Area 51. Um, um, I just lost my spot. Okay. Area 51 has only been confirmed to be a flight testing facility, while the U.S. Army Air Corps used the site as an aerial gunnery range. The big conspiracy theory here is to do with aliens, with the man named Robert Lazar, claiming in 1989 he worked on alien technology military base, where the government also examines recovered alien spacecraft. Many people have seen UFOs in and around Area 51, but the reality is none of it's been proven. What the bombshell report claims that conspiracies around Area 51 were planted by the Pentagon to hide a weapons program, with the government apparently conducting a deliberate disinformation campaign during the Cold War. This allegedly went as far as distributing fake photos of UFOs to locals. By the 1980s, a U.S. Air Force colonel was said to have handed out photos of UFOs to people at a local bar, saying they were taken nearby. It added that the disinformation campaign was to hide classified military testing, which included fighter jets. Lazar claimed on TV that he worked in a hidden facility called S4 at the facility, which further convinced conspiracy theorists. The report claims that the High Force officials would brief new commanders on a secret projected uh, titled Yankee Blue, which would involve studying alien spacecraft through, though it was all a hazing technique. Oh, this keeps cutting out. Um, hazing technique. They would apparently even be told that they'd be jailed or executed if the information ever got out. During the Cold War, Area 51 was used to test a plane, a 12 reconnaissance jet, and other aircraft in secret conditions. The supposed cover-up claims come from the AARO office, a DoD task force that investigates rumors of secret government projects to do with alien technology. Defense Department spokeswoman Sue told the Wall Street Journal that AARO discovered fabricated materials used as part of secret programs involving aliens. What really is in Area 51? You may best know the military bases after its viral moment in 2019 as a Facebook group called Storm Area 51. They Can't Stop All of Us was started as a joke before starting to take shape. You may remember an attendee doing the famous, how do you say it? Naradu run? How do you say it? Naruto.
Naruto.
It's that whatever run in the background of one of those news broadcasts too. But the bottom line, nothing was uncovered in this instance. Well, of course. And somebody else talked about vibrations, feeling like an earthquake, talking about it looking like a dry lake bed, talking about security lights. I think if they caught me, they would have lit me up like a Roman candle. He says, so aliens, or they used aliens to cover up a secret weapons program. I am sorry, but if you wanted to keep people away, I don't think telling them that it's a secret alien base was a good idea
Yeah.
to make people uninterested, if that's
Yeah.
anything close to truth.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's I think there's maybe some alien technology there, like Bob Lazar was talking about, even though they've totally scrubbed him of anything. They just said he's crazy. He's never worked there. Doesn't know anything. But, they still raided his house and did all this other stuff. But yeah, I think there's been alien technology, or there is alien technology there. I think a lot of the stuff that people see is stuff of our own now that we've learned, how from extraterrestrials or whatever, from alien aircraft, maybe. Because
engineering stuff and
test grounds or whatever. I mean, if you look, when you zoom in on it, you see a lot of planes and stuff that look like tanks and all kinds of stuff. It's definitely a weird place.
And when you see them moving them on like the flatbeds and they have the tarps over them and they look like a perfect saucer, there's so many of our own things that have that same shape.
Yeah. But
there could be both things going on there. Like there could be a weapons program and there could be alien stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff got moved. Isn't there like several area 52, 3, 4?
Yeah. But, I mean, like Elon's talking about going to Mars. I'm not impressed because I don't think we can even get to the moon. Did we? I don't know. Every day I become less and less a believer that I don't know. There's a lot of, maybe I'm just a whack job, but I don't know. I think at this point, if we go to Mars and we go to other planets, I think we're going to have help from these smarter beings that perhaps have it figured out already, because I don't think we figured squat out.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, Elon, when asked about aliens and, extraterrestrials and all, he's like, I don't believe that they're, I mean, dude has seen more of space than 99% of the people on the earth. So if he's telling the truth, I haven't seen anything to make me believe that there may be I mean, he's got satellites, he's got all kinds of shit up there, he's builds rockets and whatever, has them built, whatever. He's got firsthand knowledge of space at his fingertips. So either he's a great liar or he's telling the truth. I don't know. I don't know what to believe, but I've always thought since I was a little kid that we can't possibly be the only intelligent life, in the universe or space.
It's like this is the best you got.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we the best there is out there? Because
that's sad.
That's pretty sad. And as smart as some people are, You know, I don't know if we have alien life here, extraterrestrials, whatever. They're a hell of a lot smarter than we are because they got it figured out. You know, and if they're living here, like some people say, well, they definitely got more of a brain system than we do.
They're probably the ones that gave us like this beautiful earth, heaven on earth with everything we could possibly need. They're like, okay, let's do this experiment. We're going to put all these different types of people all around these different areas of, um, earth, because it's like, if you just think about that just in general, why, like, just because you're in one spot and one spot, how people can be so drastically different. Um,
Yeah,
and then give them everything that they could need, that they won't need for anything. The earth will provide. If they take care of the earth, it will provide back for them, and see how far they go. And that could be why, like, the Egyptians stopped when they did. That was at their, like, most advanced point, and then, reset. And
yep,
we could be reaching that ourselves right now. Like,
yep.
okay, these people majorly screwed up.
I kind of, there's part of me that is like, I see all these little kids, that are just, they not even little kids, but teenagers and stuff. And just the basic things. They don't have a clue what a cassette tape is or an 8-track tape, or an MP3 player, anything that's even new. I mean, they don't have a clue what it is. And, I see.
A rotary phone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what, are you crazy? Pager? What is that, But not that stuff means anything, but they're just growing up in a completely different world, than what we grew up in. And I don't know if that's always such a great thing, like, I mean, I grew up, like many of y'all did, in an era where, like we were saying earlier, you go outside, you play, you didn't have phones and computers and gadgets and PlayStations and Xboxes and all this shit to entertain you. Your entertainment was, deck of cards, jacks, climbing a tree.
A laundry line across the front yard was like a
Yeah,
volleyball net.
yeah. I mean,
7 or 8 years old, I wanted my own money. What do? We got on our bikes. I went door to door. Do you need your car washed? Do you need
yeah,
your lawn mowed? Do you need to babysit? I had my full on CPR Red Cross babysitting by the time I was 10, and I was a full time nanny for the house behind me for a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a newborn baby. And they were both of them were doctors. That was a job, And then I would take my money. I rode my bike. I would go to garage sales and buy little presents, like for my parents and stuff, or like take it down, save it, go down to the five and dime, and because it's like I wanted my own money.
yep,
And so I went out and I figured out how to make money.
yep,
Now kids go online and they figure out how to make money online.
yep. I mean, I have a nephew, cousin, actually, that, I don't know, he's 12, 13, 14 now. But I think when he was 11, this kid made his own video game and sold it. And when he was like 11, he had over $100,000 in the bank. And God knows how much he's got now, because he's done other games and stuff. So I mean, it's not all bad, I guess, because I mean, he's like one of the people in my family that is definitely going to make it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like, I'm 60. I'm over there. I got, $10 in my pocket, and here's this little 11-year-old kid's got 100.
If you're being legitimate and you're trying to make money in a legitimate way, I have nothing wrong to say about any of that.
Yeah.
They're not asking their parents, they're not asking for donations, putting their Venmo and Cash App links in their bios and everything.
Yeah.
Um, they're figuring it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I was little, we used to cut grass, we'd, I had,
Walk dogs,
we'd cut grass, we'd collect bottles,
wash
go
cars,
around. Yeah. We'd go
like
around. Pick up
whatever needed done, like whatever you need done, like just let me know.
Yeah.
And we got underpaid. I got
Yeah.
underpaid a lot.
But,
I got screwed on the babysitting. My mom, she got mad. She's like, they paid you how much? I was just juiced. I got paid, like what I
yeah.
got paid. And
Yeah.
she's like, you should be getting a lot more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would cut a lawn and we'd get $10. Me and my buddy, we'd split it. We'd get $5 each. And I'm thinking, man, we're killing it because
Yeah. And it was fun.
we did 6 yards this weekend. We're like, we're rolling in the dough.
And you're like saving your money up, and you could get, like, when it's Father's Day, you don't ask your mom, can you buy Dad's Father's Day present for me? It's like, I went out and got my dad his own cologne. I go down to the pharmacy out there that had like all little knickknacks and stuff.
Yeah.
And it felt good. And they taught us how to manage our money. And even when we did chores, it got an allowance as kids. Well, not an allowance, but it was like a
Yeah.
chore wall. You got paid per, like, not to do things we are supposed to do. This
Right.
was like trimming the lawn. Once I could push the lawnmower at like 8 sweeping the rocks, getting the leaves out of the pool, doing hardcore yard work with my dad. And we would get so much money. And so say like there was like a toy or something that we wanted, like some Barbie, like there was this Barbie kitchen that smelled like vanilla. I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
They weren't just going to go buy me a toy. So what we did was, I mean, like on Christmas or my birthday, but just because I wanted it, no. So we
Yeah.
put the picture up on the board. I saw how much it was. I would work off until I had the money for it. And then once I had the money, they would say, you have the money for it. Do you still want this? Because you change your mind after a while and not. Yeah, I totally still want it. And then you go down to Toys R Us and you go get it, and it was like a whole other feeling. Opening it, knowing like you worked for it, and taking care of your toys differently, knowing how many rocks you swept and how much dog shit you picked up, and all this, like, it was just such a great feeling.
Yeah. And even in school, there was cooking and, typing and like auto mechanics and, real life things that,
Yeah,
you know,
trades
trades that you
from
would,
life.
yeah, you're going to carry the rest of your life. I mean, hell, I took a whatever home economics. It was basically a cooking class. I can't even remember what grade I was in. I was stoked. I'm like, hell, it's a whole classroom full of girls. I'm the only guy, and this is awesome. you know? But I mean, I like to cook. I still like to cook, and I learned a lot in this cooking, whatever it was labeled class. And you know, same
Home,
with other classes.
home ec, auto shop,
Yeah,
wood shop, all of those were the best. Ooh, we are just past 11:11. I think I still had the robot.
yeah. I still got another one too. But don't have to do them, but yeah. I mean, there's lots that I mentioned it before. One of my friends, this was several years ago, but he was 40. I think he was 40 years old, and the dude didn't have a clue how to change or plug a tire. I'm like, how the hell do you get to be 40 and you don't know how to change a tire? Seriously? I thought he was kidding. Like, no, I've never done it.
My dad wouldn't let me ride with anybody when I was 15 until I could change a tire and change my oil and do all this stuff.
Yeah. I was like, how do you get this far in life? You've never changed a tire? Seriously? Just like, I mean, hell, I learned how to do that when I was freaking 8 or 10 or something, you know? And my dad bought me my first car. It was an old Chevy pickup truck that he paid like $300 for. And it was a piece of shit, but I loved it. And he was like, there you go. It needs a lot of work on it. And you can't afford to pay anybody to do it. So guess who's got to learn how to fix it? And, you know, to this day, I still fix a lot of the car problems, you know, because I learned how to do it when I was that age.
He was my eyes. I was the hands, rebuilding carburetors, whatever it was. He taught me how to do it.
Yeah. And yeah, I definitely did get a second chance at life. That's for sure. Don't take that for granted. Speaking of life, I got to get up at that butt crack of dawn to go to another doctor's appointment. Woohoo!
Yeah, you need to get some sleep.
Yeah, I got to be back up in 4 or 5 hours.
And then I already have one packaged up for next week, one down.
Yeah. Did a lot of yammering tonight, talking on and on. Well, cool.
On and on and on and on.
Yep. Yeah, school has definitely changed now. And I don't know. I don't have kids. I have goddaughters and stuff. If I had a kid, I don't know that I would put them in school anymore these days. Yeah. I have several friends that, you know, their kids went to school and, you know, they were at that age where it was still somewhat normal and okay. And, you know, then they got to that age where they went to college and you know, like in our day, when you went to college, you got to party a lot and you got to have fun and blah, 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 you know. Nowadays, man, college will change a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that college is such a great idea. I don't know. It's just me. It might be weird. But yeah, I've seen a lot of kids change.
Good luck with your appointments tomorrow.
What I gotta say about that. So yeah,
Not that you need luck tomorrow, but
on Weird Wednesday, I'll probably see you for a little bit of paranormal soup on Sunday.
we're not having one for Father's Day.
Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Good night, all you weirdos. I bid you fair adieu.